Everyone, how we doing?
Hey there.
Hey,
Good morning.
Jose, how are you doing, man?
Doing great.
Good,
How y'all doing, guys? Ben,
good.
how's it going?
Ben, how's the taxidermy life going? That looks like a new place.
Yeah, I can tell you more about that in person.
I love it. Is that the new? Is that the new? Love it, love it.
How
How you doing, Ben?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Every time
I
I see
miss.
your background there, I just want to go outdoors. It's like,
Oh yeah,
you
it's the closest thing to heaven this side of heaven.
know? Yeah, I'm like,
There's no people, just animals.
it's like, what am I doing cooped up in an office? I need to go outside. Like inspiration right there from Ben.
Bring the outside to your office.
Yep. That's kind of how Brazil is. There's a lot of indoor outdoor spaces.
Nice.
Like the co-working office has a rooftop where there's just like a single, you know, access point where you can kind of be in an indoor outdoor spot essentially.
Is that your primary residence in Brazil?
This right here is actually my dad's office in Indianapolis, Indiana, of all places.
Oh, cool. Just down the road.
Yeah,
I,
where are you, Ben? You're somewhere in Michigan, right?
yeah, near Justin. Oh,
Nice.
He's only about what 20 minutes south of me now.
yeah,
Give or
We
take.
something
could
like that.
we could stop by your place on our way out because we'll be driving right past it then. We're gonna
Yeah,
drive up to see
exactly.
Justin.
Cool. I'd like to meet you. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah.
heads up. But primarily you live in Brazil?
Yeah. Day-to-day life is in Brazil. We come back to the United States to see family like this for Christmas, and other times we come back to real estate stuff. Jose Santana is on here. Thanks for joining us, Jose.
Appreciate you, Eric. Appreciate you guys for making this happen.
Yep, no problem. We met Jose in Houston, Texas. Are you still in Houston, Jose?
No, I'm like an hour and a half. I'm in College Station, Bryan College Station.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. I met you there, but I guess you weren't from there. You were close by.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So Ben, that's one example. Like when there's a mastermind or a community meetup or whatever, I go back to the US. Like this year I've been several
Wow.
times for family, several times for real estate. I went all the way to Kalispell, Montana for a community camp with Pace, which was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. It was great.
Very nice.
Yep, yep, for sure. Awesome. There's probably going to be more people that are hopping on here soon, but these are, I think I told you about it, Jose, these are open office hours, so free time to talk, celebrate wins, learn about our business, learn about your business, whatever you want. So Jose,
Okay.
you were asking a little bit more about how to be like how to broker our deals or how to find, like, be a connector for deals.
That again? I didn't hear the first part.
Oh, I don't know if my audio is not coming through well. You were saying that you wanted to know a little bit more about how to be a broker or a connector and like find deals and bring them and then get connector fees on those.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, awesome. So you are in a really cool spot because you can be essentially the person that I'd want to be if I could clone myself. If I could just have an extra person that was exactly like me, thinks like me, works like me, to, I'm working on the business and there's so many things to do there, but if I just had 40 hours a week of free time to knock it out, I could make a good chunk of money just bringing deals for us. And there's
Boots on the ground.
several strategies that I would use. So first off, let me um, so for example, one of the strategies is real estate agent outreach. We got an approved deal just from very, very little of that. Geraldo, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Geraldo, good to see you, man.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
You bet.
Good. We're talking with Jose here. We met him at a PML mastermind in Houston, Texas, about how we find deals and how to drum up more business and how you can make connector or broker fees. by finding deals. So first of all, Jose, I think you've got our flyer, right, that talks about our states and rates and terms, 10% flat rate. That's a really good marketing material. Also, our loan analyzer that Justin made with his beautiful face on the Loom video, where he talks about how to calculate what they can do to qualify for 100% financing. Those are good tools to use, but basically there's a lot of really interesting ways that you can do it. Number one is, let me share screen a little bit here, just simple realtor outreach. So like right here, for example, Googling realtors in Charlotte, North Carolina. You know, North Carolina is one of our top markets, and Charlotte is one of the top areas there. So there's all of these different realtors you'll find, like realtors.com, perfect. Now find the top people in Charlotte. Like, okay, who are these people? What are they doing? If I just had a ton of extra time, then that's one strategy I would be using for sure. Is just complete cold calling, and even like there's what is it called? Amplify. Like there's tools that you can use, especially if you partner with a tech guy or somebody who's more integrated, or maybe you know how to do it yourself. I think it's called Amplify. There's several tools that you can use to go to websites like this and scrape data. So instead of you, for example, like phone call is the best. If you can get somebody just directly on the phone where you're talking with them and you're saying like, hey, how's it going? I'm a private money lender, and we've got an amazing new product that's amazing for you or your clients. Like, do you know people doing fix and flips? I would try to just scrape a bunch of these data and do a phone call with a lot of these realtors, but also get as much phone numbers and emails, and then use automated tools to text them and email them, and just blast it out and get your name out there a bunch. That is one really good way to get deals. Does that make sense, Jose?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is one of several ways that I can talk about how to find good deals to lend on. Another way is by joining groups like, Gator, Sub2, Masterminds, all that, and posting about deals and posting about funding that you have. There's another group that I just joined recently too, Connected Investors, that we're going to start working on as well. So let me show you guys how that would work. I am going to log into my account right now and share that screen. So for example, if you go to Connected Investors, if you're a member of that, or just similar groups, local meetups, whatever. Oh, okay, I'm on the messages here. Let me see. Community members. So there's something like 5,000 members in Connected Investors. Can you guys see the screen here?
Yes.
So for example, just type in North Carolina. That might even be too big. I don't know if it'll do that, but I know it was doing like Charlotte. Okay, it's got to be more specific than that. So let's call that Charlotte, North Carolina. Peraí, tô na reunião. Reunião, amor, tô ensinando. Sim. Eu sei que... So, sorry, we got some family stuff going on. So here it is, real estate investors in Charlotte, North Carolina, just with a quick search. And you can go all across Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and Augusta, and Savannah, and Ohio, and all of our top markets. There are pages and pages and pages of these people on the Connected Investors network. So you could also go there and just direct outreach, phone call, message, email, spread the word. They're already on their network saying that they're doing this, talking with lots of them about that. And then another method that is super powerful, if I could clone myself to just get tons more deals and do something like this all day long, is North Carolina fix and flippers, North Carolina real estate investors, and then Georgia, and then Ohio, and then even more specific, like for the specific cities, like you see there's, okay, this isn't a good example right here. There's, oh, sorry, I was clicking the wrong spot. Let me, so let me share now. I found the spot. So you just go to Facebook or Instagram or other sources. When you see stuff like this, like I'm doing North Carolina, but we've got multiple target markets as you see in our flyer: Georgia, Ohio, West Virginia. Look at these groups. There's North Carolina real estate investors, 6,000 members, almost 10 plus posts a day. NC Real Estate Investors, 24,000 members. Charlotte, specifically Charlotte, North Carolina, more than 10 posts a day, 28,000 members. The way that a lot of brokers and a lot of people get deals is they also just join a ton of these groups, and you can post directly on the group. You got to be a little bit careful about posting directly on a group like that, because if you do just post directly and say, hey, I'm a lender, come talk with me, that's self-promotion. So a lot of those groups admins will kick you out. But you can kind of, in a careful way, like, I'm going to celebrate a win, and like, the win is that I partnered with somebody to provide private money and they did an awesome deal here in North Carolina. You can have some sort of background where it's more celebration and gratitude and less self-promotion, like everybody come do business with me. So that can help on the post. Just beyond that too, you will find tons and tons of posts all throughout there where people are saying like, hey, I need money for a fix and flip, or hey, I've got a deal, I need funding. Just comment like crazy, be relentless all over those. And like I'm saying, there's tons and tons of Facebook groups just for North Carolina, and then there's tons of other ones. So comment left and right, up and down. You'll start getting a lot of direct messages, start getting a lot of people interested in talking with you, and it's going to be a lot of just talking back and forth all the time, but eventually you'll get better and faster at filtering which people are serious and which people aren't, and which ones have a good deal and which ones don't. And then as you do that over time, like, follow up with people too. Make a list, keep it in a spreadsheet or a CRM of some sort, because you'll get a lot of people who are like, dang, that's a really cool product, that's a really cool idea, I like it, but I can't, but you know, I don't have a deal right now. I'll let you know when I do. So like, I'm getting deals now from people who just, like, the people I talked to a month or 2 months ago, they're like, oh, hey, I've got the deal now, Eric, let's do it. And sometimes there's people who have the deal that I just haven't followed up with that would probably be talking with me. So lots and lots of ways
I
to.
wanted to point this out too, Eric. If you want to get into paid stuff, this is a paid lead scraping service from Facebook groups. So if you join Facebook groups, you can go right into this platform and it'll show you anybody who used the keywords that you are searching for. This will give you a competitive edge on anybody inside of Facebook groups. If you're just manually scrolling or manually typing and manually searching for certain key phrases, you can monitor in your dashboard on this platform. I've done this before. It's pretty sweet. And you can even comment publicly from the platform onto the Facebook page. So when you see a post that you're like, oh, you know what, this one looks like somebody who could potentially use our services, you can comment publicly. That allows people to see that you were able to offer a solution to that guy, and that allows other people to find your comment and reach out directly to you. So this is a great tool. There's actually a great YouTube video I'll share in the comments about how to set it up as well.
Yep. And Jose, we'll have the recording to this one as well. Like, if you want to watch the recording again and look at the websites, the tactics, the stuff that we did. You have a question, Jose?
You're recording this?
Yeah. So a question. I appreciate all that information. Very valuable. So question. So two questions actually. Can you give me a scenario that I can share as a win?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we can. What we should really do is just have like a. Justin and I can work on putting that together. We've got somewhat of like our flyer and our loan analyzer and stuff for, call it a broker's package or a connector's package, but we should work on a few more success stories and things that we can put together. So anybody who wants to do deals with us can say like, oh, we've, you know, like, and stuff that's true that we can prove based off our transaction. We've done over 10 million in funding in the past 6 months. We've got 20 million plus available to fund. We can do multiple deals at once. Here's a success story there. Here's a success story here. We can definitely have this going on. I see that Jimmy Day joined us and Eric greeting us as well. Thank you for being here. Radanis, I think. I can't remember if I'm saying that right.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Yep, go ahead, Jose.
Okay, so you mentioned I gotta make sure that there's good deals out there. So what is the certain guidelines of the deal, more like requirements you see that need to be met for you to identify that it's a good deal?
I would recommend that you look at the Loom video that's in the comment section there that Eric shared
Sure.
first. That is our loan analyzer tool. And below the Loom video, when you click on it, you'll also see a link to the loan analyzer, and you can save that tool. But that Loom video will give you a tutorial on how to check it and generally what our criteria is, what we want each deal to be. If you got any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me.
Yep.
Okay.
If you want just like from a marketing perspective, something super simple, just say 70% loan to value. That's our basic cutoff. So it'd be like,
Yeah,
if it's
right.
anything above 70% loan to value, it's a no-go. But if it's below 70% loan to value and you want to see exactly if you would qualify for 100% financing for purchase and rehab, then put it against our calculator here and you can see. So
Okay. And that calculator that you're mentioning, it's in a text.
Yep,
it's in the Loom
in
video
the-
that Justin sent up
Oh,
here.
okay.
You see the chat there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and by LTV you mean the it's the loan of value of as is, the as is value, right?
The calculator includes both as
Yeah.
is and after repair value because both factors are important to determine if somebody's going to get 100% funding.
Yes.
Okay, but it's 70% of both. Wait, no.
Yeah, we're getting
depends.
a little bit into the nuts and bolts here, but
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
when you talk to somebody specifically about it, 70% of the ARV max is what we will lend.
Yeah.
And it's, we could go into all the nitty gritty math. I don't know if that's the highest and best use of our time on office hours here. The video that Justin made in the calculator explains that. So I just
Okay,
pop it
cool.
there again,
Yeah.
so that you guys
That's cool.
can see it there.
Yeah.
Also, just from the marketing perspective, like the flyer says it well, but some of our huge advantages of anybody who would want to do it with us would be lightning fast closings. So we can do 2 days. We're usually ready before title is ready. 100% funding. No down, no monthly. That's another huge advantage of why people like to work with us. People who have lower credit scores, but not so bad that they have collections or delinquencies.
Yeah,
So
do you guys understand why that criteria there and how that works? It's a very simple explanation. You can have a low credit score and still be a good person. Okay?
Mhm.
You can, yeah, it's possible. You could have a low credit score because you don't use it very much. You could have a low credit score because you have a very low credit limit and you use all of it, but you still pay all of your bills and you're on time and you're a good person. You can also have a low credit score though because you're delinquent and you don't take responsibility for paying your bills and you're in collections or you're in default or you're in bankruptcy. Those reasons we don't want to lend to you.
Perfect.
okay. Yep, because I'm gonna have to head out right at 11:30 Eastern, so in 12 minutes. But I will enjoy the time that we've got right here for now. It looks like Andrea Freeman joined us. Thanks for hopping on, Andrea. Good to see you. We're talking about how to find deals and like people that want to connect or broker with us. How to we can show you the recording later where we went through several different options and methods to drum up a lot of business. And then in the comments we put like some of our huge advantages and why people would want to do business with us. There's a ton of people that might have like a 650 credit score or so, which is below the 680 mark. So a lot of hard money lenders, DSCR, say, no, I'm not going to fund your deal, but they're experienced, honest, trustworthy, hardworking people, and like don't have any late bills. It's just a high utilization, for example. And those are the people that we love because there's hardly any competition. We'll fund them for sure, but the banks, the hard money lenders, are just so tunnel vision. Like if it's below X and for whatever reason I'm not going to fund it, we're not that way. So we get a lot of business and we do a lot of deals where we can even charge more just because we're open to that.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dang asked what areas. Let's share the flyer just for those of you who haven't.
Dave Cade, welcome, by the way. I don't know if he's able to come off, but Dave Cade is a good friend.
Awesome. Come on, Dave. I'm in a different office setup now, so getting used to sharing on this one. Now, okay. Now we're ready to go. Here's our flyer. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Got it. So for those who are wanting to do the connecting and drumming up business, this is the flyer that you can use. You can white label it as well, which is recommended if you're going to be adding some points on front end or back end to have that. So you would edit that part out that says 0 points, and then the rest of it stays true though. 0 monthly payments, 100% financing, lightning fast closings. And here are our market or our top states: North Carolina, West Virginia, Ohio, and Georgia. And the reason that we have those states is because they are the best states for being business friendly. There's no usury laws or complaints there. And we also have good boots on the ground and good like closing attorneys, inspectors, everything's needed there for us to close rapid fast. And compared to the rest of the US, they have relatively fast and simple foreclosure processes. And Justin is on it, lightning fast. Shared the flyer right away. So that's us. We've got a lot of these deals happening. We're ramping up our marketing strategy to get more of these going. We're going to start putting out a lot more YouTube videos about how we work, what we do, how this is advantageous, and we're excited to keep ramping up the lending business. We've hit over 10 million, and we've got another 1.8 million in just one deal, and several other deals that are in the several hundred thousand range that will probably fund before the end of the year. So lots of good stuff is happening. I don't want to talk the whole time about myself though, so I do want to hear more from you guys. Jose, you sure we can have another question? Andrea, Eric, Ben, what you guys are up to, what your business is doing, how we can help. So yeah, let's go Jose, and then let's go around a little bit more.
Okay, so is when it comes to the experience, what do you guys like to look at? Like, what's the requirement there?
So if there's nothing complicated needed, so basically if there's zero rehab, or if it's a very, very small and light rehab, like all we're gonna do is paint, all we're gonna do is add flooring, then they don't have to show documented experience, because anybody can hire a painter and paint the house. Anybody can hire from LL Flooring or wherever you go to just put in a nice new LVP floor. That's easy. If it's anything more than that, as far as the rehab goes, then we shouldn't be doing that by themselves. And we actually save people from getting into bad deals in multiple ways. We save them from over purchasing because we underwrite and say you're purchasing it way too high, or you're at a huge risk to lose money. We also save people from bad deals because a lot of newbies just don't know how to estimate a flip. So we say you shouldn't be doing this one by yourself. You need an experienced partner. By experience, the way we define it for a flip is at least 2 HUDs that show that experience on the flip deals that they've done. So the experienced partner would have to submit and be the borrower on paper if there's mid to high level rehab going on.
Okay, I appreciate that. Another question. So you mentioned, so when it comes to the connector fee or broker fee, whatever you want to call it, that is something that I need I put, like I let the borrower know, or that's something that you guys,
You will do. Yeah.
I'll do. Okay. And
Let
it
me
needs to
show
be
you.
around 1 or 2 points.
It depends. We've paid higher than that before, 2, 3, 4 points. Depends on the deal and what the borrower is willing to pay. It also depends on if they're paying it upfront or if they're paying it afterwards. But 2 points is a pretty standard term.
Yeah, that's cool.
So if you go to our website at creativecashpartners.com, this will be your first page, and you can pop it open. And this is where you'll submit. And even as a connector or a broker, all you need to do is just select that you are a connector or a broker. and it'll offer some additional information. What have you negotiated with the borrower for your compensation, right? So this is essentially just going to let you kind of tell us what you negotiated with them. There could be a variety of different things that you've negotiated. If the loan itself is not jeopardized by the amount of money that you've negotiated on top of the loan, and we're able to pay it out of the loan, then that's something you could be paid up front. If for some reason the amount that you requested is going to make the loan to value a little too high, then that would get paid on the back end of the deal.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Yep.
I think I have that form away. I don't even remember.
Oh,
So-
you probably have the form, but you can also just creativecashpartners.com.
Yep. I'll throw it all in the chat. The form, the website. If you have the flyer too, and somebody clicks apply now, when you click apply now on the flyer, it takes you to the form. So you as a broker connector, the easiest thing for you to do is just to fill it out for the borrowers and say that you're the connector and have all the stuff there. Awesome. Let me pick on some more people while we're at it here. Eric, how you doing? Is that a real Chris's background or virtual? I want to say virtual. It looks a little bit too
You don't think this is my house, Eric?
too repetitive on the fire pattern. It's like the same two flickers.
Yeah. No, it's fake. I was just kind of playing around with a couple different backgrounds there. So
I like
No.
it. It's a good background.
no, just working on my 2025 goals and just showing up here, and sometime first quarter, second quarter, we're gonna do something. So until then, I just look, listen, and learn.
Yep. Yep. Sounds good. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Andrea Freeman, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. This is my first time jumping on a call with you guys, so I'm happy to be here.
Yep. We're glad that you're here too.
Oh, I missed the beginning of the call, but I think you probably went through like how to do the white label, and you said you're going to share a recording. So, are you guys going to share that in email, or how do we get? Since I missed the beginning of the conversation.
You should be able to forward that email. Can you put your email in the chat, and then Justin, can you forward that recording to her after when it's finished?
Or what is it that
This
we're
for
looking
this
for?
office hours.
Oh, for this office hours. You've got a recording of this?
We wait. Is my Fathom
Or
not
the
here?
Fathom? Okay, yeah. We can send the Fathom out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like my Fathom should be taking notes and recording here. So
Is
anyways,
that
yeah.
co or com?
It's .co. Yeah, no
.com.
M.
Okay, all
Thank
right,
you for
got it.
asking.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, earlier I just talked about like, and I shared screen with examples of how to target realtors, how to target Facebook groups, how to target others in communities like Connected Investors. It's a nice way to connect with a lot of people and get loan business going.
I love this. Thank you.
Yep. No problem. Jimmy, what are you up to?
I'm working the Alpha Gator side. Thanks for calling me because I do got a question. So I started working with another lender, and I found out that they're also a white label. So I guess how would it look if or is it even possible if I can do a white label with a white label?
I mean, well, theoretically, for a lending or for, well, like for a wholesale deal, for a lending, for whatever you want, you can theoretically have a daisy chain, like they call it, and that could be super, super long. Like I'm a broker, and I talk to a broker who talked to a broker who talked to a broker who talked to the actual borrower, and then you guys are all tacking on your fees, or all tacking on your spreads or your points. Same thing with a wholesale deal. Like some wholesaler locked it up with the actual seller, and then another wholesaler with the buyer who actually ends up just partnering with another wholesaler, other wholesaler. So you can have those chains. In general, they're very, very messy, and the deals fall apart. Like, communication is a mess. So if you're gonna white label somebody, or if you're gonna have like a wholesale deal or something like that, I really recommend that you just be direct to the lender. Because if somebody else is able to white label them, like don't white label the white label, just go direct to that lender. Find out who they are and then be directly brokering with them. So like in our case, don't go through 5 different connectors to get to us. Just them straight to us.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. No problem. Guys, I'm going to pass it off to my partner, Justin Barber, because we've got a family thing that's happening right now. But, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you.
Merry Christmas, Eric. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'll just open it up to you guys. Anybody else have any questions? I'd love to answer anything that we can before we hop off.
Justin?
Yes.
Hey, one, congratulations once again on your upcoming transition. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
I'm excited about
yeah, I bet. 92 days and counting.
For you?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm making the transition April 4th on paper, but it'll be March 21st.
Love it.
Yeah, saying retiring from a 25-year career to go full-time REI pro
Love it.
and private money lender. So anyhow, I just want to acknowledge you for that and thank you for your continued support. And then also, did TJ ever, I guess, get in touch or fill out your form?
TJ.
I sent him your way. I did a kind of a group text the other day.
Is his name Ryan also?
No, it's TJ. How is it? Nayun, if I'm saying that right, in Birmingham.
We got a request for funds from a Ryan Yee.
Oh yeah,
from
that's his
Birmingham.
partner. Yeah, Ryan Yee's partner.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I think we'll have some sort of an email out to you guys today, or to him.
Yeah.
I see he put you down as a referral. So we'll see. Well, this one's actually, they're requesting right now is in second position. We don't do second position on a primary or subject property.
Okay.
So what we would offer to him is we could come in and do the full thing if you'd like, but typically we will reserve second position for if they really, really need cross collateral, and they just don't want to come in with some money out of pocket, but it's not usually a large chunk that we'll want to have in second position.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I didn't know all your terms and conditions.
Sure.
So that helps.
I would say that's also a more recent transition within the last probably two or 3 months that we made that move.
Yeah.
Where we're just really not doing second position as a subject. We have too many good first position loans. It just doesn't make sense to go through the work and hassle of a second position loan when you have all those first position opportunities.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that because I predominantly have done second position
Sure.
up until this point, and now I'm moving on my first position, and I'm like,
Love it.
I like this. I like this better.
A lot easier.
Yeah, but it takes time to build that capital up, and I just wasn't positioned to do it for anyhow. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
appreciate the office hours, man. I've always pick up a nugget in here.
Love it. Okay, glad to hear that. I mean, that's the whole point. We're commingling. Like the whole point of office hours is we're commingling experience and like curiosity, where people maybe don't know anything yet about it, and so they're getting to hear a wide variety. People who are taking action, people who have never even heard this language before. So it's a great opportunity to commingle everybody together and just talk. Geraldo, you got a question?
Yeah, so Justin, what I like to do usually with the deals that come my way is I like writing it first and look at the numbers to make sure it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Is that usually what's the best way to do it with you guys as well? First underwrite, run the numbers to make sure it actually fits your guys' lending box, then bring it over so we can start due diligence and actually checking the borrower and the who we're lending to and asking for like documents like social security, license, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I would say if you're planning on doing real estate, that's the best way to get your underwriting muscles flexed so you can get better and better at it. Because we'll give you feedback, on what our thoughts are on the underwrite, and if there's things that we, have found that are not good, and we're happy to give that feedback. You'll probably get more of a form response where we don't give the exact details, just we'll let you know, but you are always welcome to request, and if somebody really wants to learn what was the main reason that we ended up denying it, there could be a wide variety of reasons. And sometimes it's not because the underwriting was wrong. It's just that it might be like we had a deal that was in St. Petersburg, Florida, that was hit really hard with the hurricanes. I don't really know what to expect with that post-hurricane environment. It's not our market. It's not our key market. So it has to be like a slam dunk deal for us. And this one was potentially a decent deal, but it wasn't crystal clear for us, and it wasn't our target market, and it was in an area that was just hit with a hurricane. So there was lots of question marks. And so we denied it, not because it was a bad deal, but because there was too many question marks, and it wasn't worth the time to go into all of those question marks that we needed to answer. So I was very clear with the connector. I was like, I'm not denying because it's a bad deal. I want you to know that. Like, your work was good. There's just too many question marks, and we have so many other good deals that we could dedicate more time and energy towards, rather than a place that's not really our target market.
Right.
But for those who don't know how to underwrite, I would say look at the loan analyzer tool. And even if you don't really understand how to underwrite yet, you'll get there. But the loan analyzer tool, you really only need 3 numbers from the borrower to at least get it an initial qualify. First of all, do they have experience? Can they at least tell me that they've got 2 deals done that are similar to this? Secondly, for the numbers side of things, what do they say the ARV is, which is usually wrong, but that's not trying to be mean, but borrowers are very optimistic people and lenders are very pessimistic. That's just the reality of the game. So borrowers see all the opportunities in the different ways that they can maybe push this value up way above and beyond what it may truly be able to get hit. So the ARV, their rehab, and their purchase price, those are really the 3 main metrics that you would need to at least get started with an initial, does it qualify, does it not qualify? If their purchase price is crazy high and it's just not passing the mustard on that loan analyzer, there's really no point in continuing on. And we would just, send them a nice notice and just let them know, hey, I think you're purchasing too high. And even with a hard money lender, it's going to make their returns skinny. So it's a nice tool for at least quickly glancing at it. What I found is it's extremely rare that my ARV is more than their ARV. So it's always going to be at least their ARV or a little lower. That's historically been the case for my underwriting. I don't know about you, Jeremiah, but I've never found it on my ARV is more than what the borrower thinks it is.
Yeah, plus 1 to everything you said.
Yeah. So. Any other questions that folks have? And did that help, Geraldo? Did that response help?
Absolutely. Crystal clear.
I mean, I think anybody who is going to be a connector should learn how to underwrite, but you're not going to start by knowing how to underwrite.
Right.
So it's okay if you don't know how you want to get started. That's why you work with people like me and Eric, because we're going to underwrite everything you bring anyway. I don't care how experienced you are as an underwriter. We're always going to do our own final underwrite because that's what we owe to our capital partners.
Right. And it's tremendously helpful to have you and Eric, because we can, a lot of times when you're practicing underwriting, you don't have, you usually don't have someone or somewhere where you can actually check if the numbers are correct.
Yep.
So you can check it with you guys. So that's tremendously helpful.
Yep. I hope to make a lot more videos too on YouTube that will be talking a little bit more about like comping and things like that. Just some practical things, which a lot of people do. You can still find those videos, but we want to still make ourselves available. And it's also helpful to be able to underwrite to our loans, which are a very unique product. It's not everybody's loan type. So, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I apologize. I think I asked this previously, and maybe it was even discussed earlier before I got on here. But could you just kind of hit high level there, Justin, the way you're positioning yourselves versus your capital partners? If I understood correctly, if I have a capital partner that's willing to come in on a deal, they would get all the lender protections that you would expect, right?
Yep.
Protection levers, mortgage positions, promissory note, added to insurance, all the stuff, right? But then if I'm bringing them in, and I guess a scenario where I'm connecting them with another investor, and they're coming as the lender, then because I was able to make that connection, just as you and Eric do, what paperwork are you structuring to include yourself in that deal? I mean, that you're not the investor, you're not the lender. Kind of seems
We
like-
are the lender. That's the key. We are the lender. It doesn't matter that it's their money. We are the lender.
Okay.
Have you ever looked at what hard money, where do they get their money? Do they own the money? Is it just sitting in their bank account, or are they arbitraging as well? Everybody's arbitraging somebody's money.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you look at any hard money lender, look at Chai and Prakash. They're not using 30 million of their own liquid cash.
Right.
They are using 30 million of local bank money in the state of Texas to lend out as a private money lender. So they are actually using bank money as private money lenders. So they are the lenders.
Okay.
So we would never question that they're the lenders. Same thing with Alexis and Abraham. Now, Abraham's unique in that he's got 15 million of his own cash that he can throw into the market. They lend out like 20 million. The rest of that is everybody's cash. It's my cash. I've got 50,000 that sits in their little fund, and it just for kicks.
Yeah.
Right. And why not? You collect $500 a month just for them to do all the work. Go ahead. But they're the lender. Now, there's just different ways to structure all of that. They've structured theirs under a fund. Chai and Prakash use bank money. We use capital partners, and the way that we position ourselves is we are on all the paperwork. We are the lender on the paperwork, but we always put two lenders on the paperwork. Oh, any deed of trust that we have is us and the capital partner. Balloons. There we go. So I don't know. Gotta love these reaction things. Yeah. So they are on the deed of trust. They are on the promissory note. And the JV. They're on the HUD. We always make sure that we're both on the HUD as the lender.
Okay. So your LLC and then your private capital.
Yeah.
Person, Joe. We'll call him Joe.
Yep.
It's all that is on the same.
And the only time that would change for us is if we moved to a fund structure where your money, Geraldo's money, came into our bank account under an SEC regulated fund.
Right, right.
And we were lending under our company name, and you were essentially partnering with us under our LLC, and your money was just sitting in a repository of funds for us. That would be very different. Again, all this is kind of like legal structure stuff. So I'm going to give the caveat again that I'm not giving legal advice. You got to go and ask your own attorney. But this is how we currently structure everything for ourselves based on our own investigation. So they always get the same protections. But the main reason we position ourselves as the lender on every one of these deals is we run the deal. I don't ever want to be in a position where the capital partner is put into the position of, well, they have to file the foreclosure documents. They have to do all the work of communicating. No, we're communicating. We're going to communicate on their behalf. And we will be the ones to fund the foreclosure proceedings, anything that goes awry with that deal. And we're going to be the ones talking with title. So when it comes to, any communications about releasing funds or anything like that, that's going to be us. We will keep the communication lines wide open with those lenders so they know everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, we're in charge of that deal. It's our deal. We're lending on that deal, and we're bringing that capital partner on, and we're maintaining their security along the whole path.
And so, Justin, that's all being done because you are everything that you would typically give a lender in your own deal. You are also on that same paperwork.
Yes.
And is there anything that articulates that you're, quote unquote, air quotes, are running the deal? Or is that just the agreement between you and the capital partner?
That's the internal agreement.
Okay, just
that's our JV agreement internally that doesn't really go to anybody else.
Sure. Okay.
And
One parting question then, can I assume, are you relatively transparent about what returns obviously they're getting versus what returns you're getting for running the deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I would say our partners are basically always aware of exactly what they're making and what we're making.
Okay.
Very much so. Um, we've gone through a few different iterations of that. We did a 70-30 structure where whatever we earned, it was 70% of the capital partner, 30% to us. We recently were able to switch that with a 50-50. And as we're scaling up, obviously, there's a little bit of more operational drain, so to speak. And so, in order for us to provide even better service, then sometimes we have to, we're negotiating and raising capital at different rates. So I would say, right now we're raising capital at 12 to 15% is what we're looking for. There's plenty of capital in that range. And then of course we've got kind of our seasoned capital partners who get grandfathered in at different rates and things like that. So, but our goal is to get to one rate.
It's not a blanketed 50 because I was looking at, like, I have people that would be happy with a 10% return.
Sure.
And if I could lend it at 15, then it's not a 50-50, it's just a 10 and a 5.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you could even lend it to us on a deal or whatever. If you felt really good about the deal, you could arbitrage their money. So they get 10% annualized. You arbitrage the difference, and then we would just give you the 15% annualized. So our internal agreement would be, that. But you'd have to figure out what your legal structure would look like for that.
Okay. Thank you. I know I kept
You have
saying
to be careful when you start, especially if you have to arbitrage a few different times. You got to be really careful with what you're doing, what your legal structure is there. I would just call an attorney and figure that all out. Ours is very simple. We don't get into too much like arbitrage this to arbitrage that to, like, no.
yeah, I don't think
It's one person. It's
Yeah.
one person,
Yeah.
and we work directly with that person.
Yeah, I think I would really looking to adopt a model that you and Eric are using, is you just want one deal, one person, and then
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be in better control.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Justin. It sounds like you're losing your voice there.
Yeah, I've been dealing with this all week, though. Yeah, I feel great. I just don't have much voice.
Question.
Yeah.
So how were you guys able to obtain like that trust with the lenders, like with your capital partners? Like how were you able to do that?
Yeah. Um, I would say a lot of that trust was built even before I came with Eric. Eric had already done it, quite a few loans with his own money. So he always started with his own money. He was able to prove his track record with his own cash, what he'd done with those deals. And then he was able to bring them in, oftentimes as co-partners first. So he would throw his own money into the deal, and then they would bring their money into the deal. And he would show them that he's putting equal risk in with them. And then it's gotten to the point where we've got so much deal flow, there's really not enough of our own cash to put into all of these deals. But we've got capital partners who have done well enough with us. We have one capital partner in particular who's probably made about $500,000 off of us this year. So that's just one. And so he's ready to put a lot more in.
Thank
because
you.
he's seen the consistent results.
Thank you.
You bet. Actually, he's made more than $500,000 at this point. If you count his, like what he's actually had come in is in the ballpark of about $500,000, and then there's future revenues that are also coming in. It's a lot more. Ben.
Thank you, Justin. So I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
If someone were to bring someone new to the table to just introduce to you guys, I think I've recently met someone who I think might be a good fit for what you guys are trying to do here.
Mhm.
Do you what do you do to gain the trust of a new person? Do you have people that give referrals or people that can recommend you to this new individual? Like if I were to present this person to you guys, just like I'm not ready to jump in on any of these deals or anything. I'm still educating myself, but I think he might be a good fit for what you guys are doing. So I'd like to introduce him to you
Like
guys.
as a lender?
Potentially both. He's a
Okay.
real estate agent,
Okay, gotcha.
but
Yeah,
a lot of paperwork stuff.
I'd say it kind of depends on which one they're doing. As far as a borrower goes, we've got a very large track record that we could show that would help people understand what we generally do. A lot of our stuff is even out there, like online, so you can kind of find us that way. But as far as lenders go, I think that's just a few conversations where people really understand what our structure, and every lender is going to be different. What level of comfort level they're going to have. I think, at the end of the day, it's a matter of really just understanding how do we vet and underwrite our deals and what has been our track record so far. So I know that I don't know what our total number of deals is if you kind of combine our joint experience, but because obviously Creative Cash Partners as an entity has only been around since July, but Eric and I have been lending since before July.
Right.
So if you kind of took our combined experience, I mean, we got to be in the ballpark of probably 20 million in loans. I alone have been involved in about $11 million worth of transactions, and Eric's been lending longer than me, so I don't know what his total number is. But so there's that track record that we can point to as well. And out of all of those, he's only had to foreclose, I think, on one or two.
Awesome. That's good.
Something like that. Anybody else? All right. Well, it's always a pleasure to hop on and hang out with you all and share what we're learning, because obviously we're learning as we go as well, and we're all just at different stages of learning. Some of us are brand spanking new, some of us are mid journey and right on the verge of our major breakthroughs. And so always happy to share whatever is new and great with us so that we can encourage you guys in your own path. So you all have an amazing Christmas. I always say Merry Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but that's me. And happy holidays for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks, Justin.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. God bless.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.